What's going on, family? It's good to have you here with me today, wherever you are, morning, evening, with another weekly watch this video. Now, we are headed into the last month of the year. It's been a crazy year. Crazy setups went off. A lot of money been made. So we are looking to close out very, very strong for the final month of 2025. And we want to head into 2026 with confidence and profitable. Without further ado, let's jump straight into what we are here for. First and foremost, we have some red news coming up this week. We have on December 1st, we have manufacturing PMI data. Powell will be speaking at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday. December 3rd, we have ADP non-farm employment change and ISM services PMI. Thursday, we have unemployment claims. And finally, on Friday, December 5th, we have core PCE, price index, consumer sentiment, and inflation expectations. So that's what we're going to look forward to. As far as major impact news, jumping straight into the watch list, got quite a few names that I like going into next week. Things can change. We like to see how Monday open up, but things can change coming into next week, or we can add more names going into next week. I've been noticing that Tuesday have been having some really nice setups, better setups than what we see closing on Friday. But without further ado, let's get into this. Watch this. I like Visa. So with Visa, again, I like to do my top-down analysis just to break down what I am seeing. I'll start out with the month. So Visa's a fail, 2 down. Not quite a fail yet. It has turned green to be a fail, but we are hammering on the month. We are sitting at previous month low. And one thing I always tell my students to do is look to the left. Always look to the left. And what you will notice is how price reacting off the PML, 334.17. If you look at the lows of the previous months, you will see wicks popping back to the upside. Now that's something that has my attention. With that being said, I'm looking forward to price holding the PML and moving to the upside. I'm expecting buyers to step in that range. Let's pop down to the week. Same thing with the week. We went 2-2 up in force, and now we are again. That PML is going to be very, very important. I just love how we are basically in this range right here. I like that. So we want to flip this old demand. We want to get above that PML and turn this range back into demand, because in this demand zone, we see that buyers continually stepped in and pushed price to the upside. Right? Price has memory. That's one of my favorite sayings. Price has memory. So again, we want to get back, stay above 334.17, and we want to pop back to the upside, same way we did in the past. That is something I am looking forward to with this stock. On a daily, we got a nice setup on a daily as well. We got us a nice fail 2 down, and that will give us our entry to get into this trade. 2-2 rev. We want to enter off the 2-2 rev above 335.02. We're going to trigger the previous week high, which would be this current week high of 336.06. And then we want to make our way to the previous month close, and then see what happens at the previous quarter close at 341.38. So that would be our targets. It's not much in the way. Once we take out 336.06, there's not much in the way until we get back up to that PQC. So let's see how price reacts there. Again, I think this PML, I know it sounds repetitive, but I think this PML is going to be a little fight. If it failed to hold the PML, I can see price coming back down. Just keep an eye out for that. What I like with these contracts is 19 December, 345 Cs. 19 cent, December 345 Cs. Again, we want to target that PMC and PQC. Next ticker I'm going to talk about is Triple M. This made the watch list a week, 2 weeks ago. Didn't quite, it made a new move, but it didn't quite take off. What I like is that this is building a nice pennant and is also coiling. And I think a big move is expected with this one. First and foremost, we have a potential 3-2 up on a month. If we don't do that, going into December, we got a potential 3-1-2 in a month. Actually, we want to take out these equal highs. So there's a lot of consolidation happening at equal highs. What I noticed with a lot of back testing is when we have consolidation, when price refused to sweep the highs and then drop, the same way it did in the past. If you look at the PMH 172.85, you see how price react. Price always dropped in this range, but right now we are showing a lot of strength in that range, and we are also consolidating. And what I notice is when we consolidate at equal highs, it might be ready for the next leg up 9 times out of 10. So 4 time frame continues to the upside. Strong month. We are closing this month out really strong on Triple M. Nice hammer month. 3-1-2 potential on the M. Let's check out the QR just really fast. QR is 2 up continuation. Okay, so that's something I really like about this play. Dropping down to the week, got a nice bullish pennant on that week. We went 2 down, 2 up in force, but what has my attention is, aside from the pennant and aside from the way the month is setting up, the daily look like it's just ready to take out these highs. So this is something I'm looking forward to. Failed 2 down. We want that 2-2 rev. So this is our entry point. With the 2-2 rev above 172.24. Then we want to get over this PMH. PMH will be the real battle of this trade. Once we are able to clear this PMH, 172.85, then we can see our way to 174.70 and then 182.35, which will be our targets for this trade. And again, all I do is look all the way to the left. Look all the way to the left. Here's how I got this target of 174.70. And then again, 182.35 is all the way up here. If y'all want to view what's happening in this price range, you could get some targets out of this price range as well. These pivots, you could get targets out of these pivots as well. So from 174 to 182, we need to take out 178.68 in any of these pivots. That's it. And then 180, 152. So just to reiterate, we're going to target 174.70, 178.68, 181.58, then 182.35, and see what happens from there. So that's what I like about this. Next trade is Honeywell, HON. So Honeywell got a nice thing going on at these lows. It doesn't have full time frame continues, which I'm going to show in a moment. So right now, Honeywell is currently just sitting at these lows that you see here. So swept PML 189.01, swept PML, pop back to the upside. I do like the way these wicks, I do like these sweeps happen at 189.01. I know the bias is showing me that the bias like to step in and around that range. I am hoping for a nice green move to the upside, same way we had on the month of November. So come December, I want to see if we could finally launch off that PML, PQL range and start to make our move back to the upside. So we're working from the lows here. We want to trade this back into full time frame continuity. On the week, we do have our hammer week, and we do have our 2-1-2 reversal potential to the upside. And again, looking over to the left, I keep things really basic. Don't got no crazy lingo or anything like that for y'all. But again, just looking over to the left, what's happening in that range? Just ask yourself, what's happening in this range? This range is what they buying. They are buying. They are buying. They brought here as well. They bought here as well. And where are we? Back into that buying range. So back into the buying range. We have an actionable signal, which is the hammer. Hammer weak. So this one is a no-brainer. We want to take that 212 up to the upside. We want to close above the high of week. So let me just remove this. We want to close above 192.40. That will also take out the PQL. And we want to get back up into this 198.201 range. That's our target. 198.33 to the 201 range. So we want to see what happens from there. The daily also has some beautiful consolidation happening as well. So not only we trigger the 212 to the upside on a week, but we have a 3-2 on a daily as well. Mini little gap to fill. It's got good potential to get back up to 198, 199 if you want like a base hit, but we want to get up to that 201.33. If we clear that, then we got a lot of room up to 209. These contracts are cheap, move very well. We want the 19 December's 200 Cs. 19 December 200 Cs. One nice move could put us in the money. One nice move could put us in the money. One daily move could put us in the money. So again, loving this consolidation. Loving how we holding the previous month low. Love how we held previous week low. Use those areas as stops if you have. And again, we want to rev off these lows. We want to rev off these lows. I mean, if I was a guy on puts, I'd be upset that it's not just dropping down. But again, let's see what happens with that one. Next ticker I like is AT&T. Let's talk about AT&T real quick. So AT&T, let's go to the month. Going into December, we got a 2-2 rev. 2-2 rev going into December. I mean, this chart looks really well. We swept some lows. I believe the QR is green as well. Let me just check. I could be wrong on that. No, the QR is not green. But what we did do is we swept the PYH, previous year high, and rev right back to the upside. We did that in the past as well. Maybe doing it again. So beautiful monthly rev once again. Drop to that weekly. Weekly have a nice 2-1. So we want calls above this 2-1, and that's calls above 26.21. So we want calls above 26.21. We was consolidating around this. We have been consolidating around this area for quite some time, but I believe a pop is due. I believe a pop is due pretty soon. So I got this little wedge going on right here. Got these higher lows. Not that we ready to make that move back up to 28.16 at least. So again, calls about 26.21. I mean, if you want to take the daily entry as an early entry, you can as well. That'd be the 2-2 rev to take into the weekly break. You can do that as well. This weekly break, previous week high 26.18, will be a reactive range. Reason being is this is where price usually sell. So we want to take out this supply area. Pretty much, we want to take out this whole high range. Let's take that out. If we can take that out, we can easily target 26.99. 27.52, and then back up to PMH 28.16. We like the contracts of January 27 Cs for this. You could get the Decembers if you feel confident that this will pop way sooner, but if you want to take the safe route, again, 16 January 27 Cs. Next ticker I'm going to talk about is VNet. Nothing really special in the higher time frames for this one. I just really like how the daily is setting up. So just to show y'all the monthly time frame. You won't get that 2-2 rev no time soon unless this really pops a push. There is a pennant happening. Now that I'm looking at it, there is a pennant happening on this monthly time frame. Bada bang, bada boom. So there's a pennant happening on this monthly time frame, but this is on a higher time frame, so it could keep, it keep consolidating for right now before we actually get that pop. Just looking over to the left at this PMC, it's our like range where buyers can't step in as well. So that is aligning. Let's check out weekly time frame. So there's our pennant. We at the lower end of this pennant now. And we did 2-2 rev the week and pulled back. But the pullback is okay because I believe the daily is giving us a TTO to take this back to the upside. So we can go 2 up continuation. We could very well easily go 2 up continuation above 9.22. So let's check out that daily. Here we are. What I like about this daily is, if you've been in my group, you know how I feel about the closing of the candlesticks. Price been refusing to go below 8.74, using that range as some kind of support, and I really like that about this. So if this was the pop out the macro pennant that I just showed you on the weekly and the monthly time frame, that means this would be the early entry to do so. Also, this is on point of control, which I don't have it here, but on TOS this is point of control. Sit on that launch pad to rocket to the upside. So with that being said, I like calls above 8.95. That's an early entry. If you want to wait for the weekly entry, you can. I say on Monday if you want to wait for the Tuesday, see if that weekly entry trigger. But if you want to take that risk, just go ahead and take the daily. Go ahead and take that daily trigger. 8.95 calls, target 9.22, target 9.78, and then see what happens when we get to the PQC. Okay, I like 19 December 9Cs for this. If this pops, this goes in the money automatically. It's only a few cents away. So that means once we get up to the 978, 1031s, those Decembers will be well over 200%. Don't sleep on this setup. Next ticker I'm gonna talk about is CVS. CVS. I haven't played CVS in a long time, but I really like the way what CVS been doing. Quite as cap, it's been running up. It's been very bullish. Came from the yearly lows at the beginning of the year. From the beginning of this year, it was struggling, but it's been popping back to the upside. Finally hit previous year high. That's huge. It hit PYH, which means it triggered the previous year candle and then pulled back. So we want to catch that TTO, re-trigger above the previous year high at 83.25 and start to make our continuations to the upside and hopefully hit that 93.41. So this is a big huge candle to take out, and we did it. So don't know what they got going on over there, but CVS is bullish. QR is up. Let's drop to this monthly time frame. Got a nice 2-1. So going into December, we got a 2-1-2 setup, 2-1-2 reversal, continuation to the upside. And again, that's above 81.72. Let's go down to the weekly. Right. We do have a bullish pennant going on this as well. We do have a bullish pennant again going on this. Bada bing, bada boom. So we got multiple things telling us that this is ready to pop. We did deny it again. We did deny the PYH. We want to get back above it and hold it. So that's the most major discrepancy I could find on this one, is that these the type of trades where I don't mind taking the base hit, because if I know that the PYH is a major reactive zone where price can pull back. So that means if you do get the entry and you get that quick 50, 60%, whatever have you, it's up to, it will be, your risk to take if you're going to see and hold above 83.25. But with me, if I think that it might pull back heavy, I just take the base hit on something like this. So let's see what happens with that. Let's go down to the daily. The daily also have a 2-1. So that will be our entry on this one. Calls above this 2-1, which will be around $80.41. So calls at 80.41. And again, we want to target 81.72. Then we want to target this PYH. This is going to be a major price point to get above. If we stay above that, we can hit PMH pretty well, 85.15. And doing that will put us well over 100% on these contracts, which the contracts we're looking at is 19 December, 82.5C. 82.5C. So this has a lot of potential. It's just got to get above the PMH, the PYH, and PMI. It has a lot of potential, because there's not much room in the way to get to 93. We got these little pivots going on over here. Just zoom in on this. Yeah, you just got these little pivots to take out, and these are minor. All the major levels is CVS been getting through the hard part. We just gotta be a little patient. All right, with that being said, next ticker, Duke Energy. Duke Energy. XLU been moving pretty well, and I want to capitalize on this by looking at the ones that haven't rocketed just yet, and that is Duke. Duke haven't rocketed just yet. Let's go to the month. The month is flat, but have a 2-1-2 up as well as a 2-1-2 down potential. Of course, I'm looking for the upside. Let's go to the week, and here is where it has my attention. So just like I'll be saying on all my videos, just like I said earlier, be looking at what they did in the past with price. If you look in this range, what have they been doing in this range? Well, first and foremost, we turn old supply back into demand or support, and they buy from that range. So based on these wicks that we are seeing right here, for the previous 2 weeks, what they done. Let's remove this now. At the PWL 121.45, they've been buying it, which puts us in the hammer on a week, which now we have a 2 down, 2 up reversal potential on a week. And that's something I like to see, because if we could have went 3-2 down and forced, that didn't happen. They swept it back up, which means that they are playing a lot of defense at the PML, PWL, and PYH. So we've got 3 major levels right there, and that's why I always want to know the open and closing of the higher time frames. This will give me confidence in the trades. So now we got that 2-2 rev. Keep it real simple. Calls above 124.13. Again, calls above 124.13 for Duke. That'd be a 2-up continuation on the daily, but I like it. We want to target previous week high, 125.83. It's not a lot of major pivots in a way on this one as well. I guess we can put this as a target, 127.35, and then get back up to PQH. Honestly, I want to get back up to PMH, 130.03, but let's take it to level. You can get 19 December 125 Cs or January 130 Cs for these. If you're targeting a 130, just get the Jans. If you're targeting 125, you just get the 19 Decembers. Last but not least, HPQ. Haven't traded this one in quite a long time, but I like the way it's setting up. Let's start off with the week. Bear with me, I'm still new to this trading platform. So start off with the month rather. The month is real weak still. But again, I just all I do is just look to the left. Yeah, it's gonna give me all the information I need. So what happens in this range? What are those wicks doing? They buying it in this range. So these are at, we call it the doo-doo lows. These are at the lows of the lows. These, so swept PQL 2411, and now I believe we're trying to push back to the upside. So let's check out the week real quick. We went two rev on a week, but we didn't move in force. We still want to see if we hold the previous week close. We still trying to see if we can hold that previous quarter low. I believe this has a lot of potential to the upside if we could hold the PQL. Again, I believe we have a lot of excuse me, potential to the upside if we could hold PQL. So keep that in mind. Major level there. Let's go to the daily. Now, here's the daily. Swept PQL just Friday today. It swept the PQL of 244.11, which means that if this is ready to go to the upside, then we got a potential to get in on this 212 to the upside. It's that simple. The little mini, wasn't even going to mention this, but does have a little mini, pennant going on right there. Got a little mini daily pennant. Should even draw it. Try to draw it for y'all real quick. Little mini daily pennant going on. But yeah, we want that 212 to the upside. That's our trigger. 212 to the upside. Jesus Christ. You know what? Just give it a little breathing room. Calls about 24.58. That would break the pennant. We want to target PML 2546. We want to target 2676 after that, and then we'll get to these major levels. There's going to be a lot of turbulence in this PMC, PYL, and PQ area, but that's going to be our next. That's going to be our next target as well, 27.23. And we like the 19 December 25 Cs. These are super cheap. You could rock with the Januaries if you want. And that could net into high of 300, 400% on the Januaries. But 25 Cs, we could go in the money pretty easy on that. That is, we had 24.58. If we trigger at 24.58, we like not even 50 cents away from going into the money. And then these should be like an easy swing from there. But let's just see what happens next week. Let's see how we open. Be patient, set your alerts. And let me know what y'all think in the comment section. All right. Peace. Have a blessed week. Hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. I know I did. All right, y'all. Salute. See y'all in the next one.